She see money all around me. I look like I'm the man. Yeah.
Okay, everyone, welcome to Pokemind episode 3. Today we have a very special guest on the show. We have Bozo, legend of the game. Okay, guys, just to let you guys know, the prerequisite to be on Pokemind is that you have to have at least made R1 million playing poker or be very successful out of poker. And if you know anything about South African poker, you know about Bozo. This guy's a legend. He's won everything, many high rollers, many main events. So yeah, Bozo, what's up? How you doing today, bro?
Liking you, brother. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Boz. So, tell us a bit about your series so far. Like, how's it been going? Like, what's been happening?
So, man, it's been a bit of a emotional roller coaster. I spent quite a bit of time away from the game. Came back. My first event, WPT in October, was my first event in over 3 years. So I'm coming to grips with playing at this level again. Luckily, I've got close friends that are at the top echelons of the game that I can pick their brains. But I feel like, look, I've played 3 events. I busted the high roller earlier today. I feel I've made some mistakes that I'm trying to work on. So if I'm going to apply my mind to poker this year, I need to start fixing some of those mistakes. So far, quite good, man. I mean, I came very close to the cash in the first 2 events I played. I bubbled the 6 max. I don't mind bubbling. I try to win. I love winning.
Okay,
more than the money.
That's something I've noticed about you, is that like you always just like you win, or you're like kind of not in the money. You're not a min cash guy. Like you're a winner.
Yeah, because like to me, if you min cash and come 7th or 8th, then or you bubble, it's sort of you go home with that same hollow feeling of not having won.
Okay.
You know? And I think it's helped me in the past as my final table to win ratio is quite good. And I think it's for that reason that, you know, we kind of put the money aside and just play for it. But yeah, back to it. I mean, so close to the cash, a bubble, and the high roller, I was an early exit, you know. So that was a bit of pill to swallow because I've been looking forward to it for a long time. I can say for sure last night's session was the best I've played since I returned in October. But on the converse, this morning was not a great session, and I can put my hand up and I say I played some hands incorrectly. But I think you also played at top level that you kind of got to make those mistakes.
I think the important thing is like making the mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And then like being self-aware enough to be like, okay, I actually played badly, and then like correct the mistake.
Sure. So I mean, I won't go into the exact hand details, but there were situations where instead of calling, and I'm doing the opposite and calling instead of re-raising. And so
well, I mean, if like, are there any key hands that you played like that you wish you could have played differently that you've broken down? Do you want to like maybe like let's chat about it?
I can tell you one hand. I'll tell you my exit hand. I'll tell you a hand prior to that where I think I made quite a big mistake, like a really big mistake. And we were on quite a combative table where guys were happy to enter into pots. So what happened was. A friend of mine, I think you guys will know, Nick Sisu, he limped into the pot. Rob Venner, a player that I hold in high regard, he put in a very small raise. And like I was saying to a friend of mine afterwards is, you know, in hindsight, it was an isolation raise to keep position in the hand. And I was on the button with jacks, and what I should have done was re-raised, and what I actually did was call. Okay, so what happened was Nick Sisu then saw the flop. The flop came 6 high. He checked, I bet, he raised me, not too much I called. The turn card came a queen, which kind of saved me because he wasn't scared, and he fired hard into the pot. I let go, and he showed me that he had flopped the straight with 7-8. But the mistake I made was pre-flop. My hand was strong enough. Of course, Rob's not going to raise into a pot like that with nothing.
Yeah, after the open limp, of course.
But the size of his raise was so small that it was an isolation raise. And what I should have done was 3-bet pre-flop, and Nick Sisu would never have seen a flop with 7-8, right? Because he was only in for the blind. He had limped. So I feel that was a mistake. I mean, we're doing an interview. I'm just telling you about the hands I've played badly.
That's cool. That's good, man. That's like honest. Most people will never admit when they make mistakes. So I think that's amazing, bro.
Yeah, look, thanks, man. I made a few in this event. So I'm working on my stuff technically. I think I'm getting there. I'm seeing it better. I'm putting people on hands like I used to years ago, and it feels nice for it to come back to you, you know. Definitely last night I felt that. I was seeing the game really well. My exit hand was just a bit, I was really unlucky. For some reason, everyone decided to limp into the pots, and the big blind was 3K. So there were 7 to the flop, which had come to me. I was in the blinds, and I had 73,000 behind, and I moved it in, knowing that there's about 30k in the pot.
Pre-flop.
Pre-flop.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you have?
I had ace queen of clubs.
Okay, standard.
And Rob Fenner tanked and called me with ace 10, and found the 10.
From what position? Like, what position did he limp from?
He limped in cutoff.
Okay, cool. So like there were a bunch of open limps before him, of course.
So yes, Mr. Sun limped, Nick limped. There was another gentleman, I forget his name. Rob limped. Gareth limped on the button, who was sitting on my right. I woke up with ace queen of clubs, and I thought it was a good spot to move it in.
For like 20 bigs, 20, 23, 25 big
yeah,
blinds?
Yeah, 24 big blinds.
Okay.
And what I did notice was there was a player that I was wary of, was the original limper. I felt that no one was going to limp after that with a monster. So I realized that, and I'd seen Nick had limped before, so I felt safe to move it in. And Rob called me thinking that I could move it in with anything. That was the comment he made to me, and I accept that. I accept him going with his guts. He did have.
In fact, you embraced it. I mean, like, what a great spot, right?
Right.
It's like,
I mean, you want to take those spots. That's like what I said. I'll take it every day of the week. Look, in tournament poker, you never want to have your life at risk too much, even if you're ahead. You can be a 70-30 favorite, but if you get it in 3 or 4 times, you're going to lose one of those spots. So tournament life is important, and I do hold value to that. So I don't like to actually put all my chips across the line unless all 5 cards are down.
yeah.
But the spot seemed to play itself, and look, I'm happy for the call. It worked exactly as I wanted it to go. I mean, I got called by a weaker ace, and he hit it, but it's okay. It's just part of the game.
So that's something I've noticed, especially with like people that really think they have like a skill edge in the game and they really trust themselves. It's just not good to get into flips. Rather, just like play small pots. Because I mean, like, equity is equity. Even if you get it all in with aces to kings, it's just
even
like.
If it's aces, dude, 100%. Like, if you're gonna get it in pre-flop with aces 10 times in the tournament, you're inevitably going to lose one of those.
Absolutely,
that'll cost you your tournament life. So, you always want to, if you can see all 5 cards on the board, you can be right, you can be wrong, and lose your chips, but at least you've applied your mind to the actual hand, and it's not just going in on a sort of hope and a prayer. So yeah, I try to see it through and not risk tournament life unless it's absolutely necessary. And it's just I was kind of like falling behind. It was a good spot for me in the high roller. But it's okay, man. We're just off another high roller win, and it's 7 tournaments back since I made my comeback. So I'm happy with how things have gone. I've played against the best in the country again, and I want to now apply my mind a bit more and just start sharpening up and fixing like the little holes in the game, you know.
So what made you decide to start playing poker again? Because you took a hiatus for a few years.
I took a hiatus,
yeah. What made you decide to get back into the game?
You know what? Like I've always said, I love the game. Texas Hold'em is a beautiful game. The whole dynamics of Texas Hold'em is that, you know, you get 2 cards and it's designed in such a way that you can work out what your opponent has, and you know, and you can just sort of, it's like a chess game almost. And I love the game just so much. And look, professional and personal life's on a good track at the moment. When it was recommended to me to play in October, you know, when they say something feels right to do it, it felt like the right time. I'm in a good space, so I arrived and I just played, and I decided I'm not going to play event 1 or like a 6 max, a smaller buy-in. I decided my first event back would be straight into either a high roller or a main event. I felt fresh. I knew that I would have more patience, having not played in so long, and probably less likely to make silly mistakes. So I saved it for a main event. And we caught a cash in October.
Yeah, I remember that. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool, man. I mean, they had to beat my aces to knock me out. I was really playing nicely, and you know, like it's not. I'm not going to be playing week in, week out like I used to be. I've got a career that I'm working hard on, and I want that to be my main focus. But poker is just something I love with all my heart. I love the game. You know, I mean, we've had conversations many times over the years. And you know, our mutual friends are some of the best in the country, and when you sit and you analyze and you go through things, and it's exciting, you know?
Yeah, very cool.
I think that's
stuff.
what attracts us all to the game. Being able to bluff attracts a lot of people to poker. The mechanisms of Texas Hold'em are just beautiful, because like Omaha's got a much more like a bit of a risk factor to it than Texas Hold'em's a very
Equities are like way closer together.
correct. You know, and yeah, I love the game, so I couldn't stay away for too long.
Yeah, dude. So, like, one thing I can say for sure, and I think many people out there will agree with me, is you must be one of the most naturally gifted Texas Hold'em players out there, like for sure. So, tell us about your breakthrough moment, because I remember you had this breakthrough year. Actually, so I'd like to hear the origin story, like what actually got you interested. And then I remember there's this one year where you just won like Swazi, and you won like you just won like everything that year. Yeah.
So
Tell us the come up to that like year and what happened. Like, how did you get there?
I mean, we started playing online, me and a few friends. Like, I played casually with friends when we were in first year of varsity, and when we were just starting working at like the age of 20, 21. And there was that moneymaker effect that we all know about, and it was a cool thing for young guys to be doing, to be playing poker with their glasses and their headphones and all of that stuff. So I embraced it, and I loved the game, and I had a bit of success up front, and it was all in tournaments. So I think I naturally just moved into being a tournament player. Those that know me know I'm not a great cash player, because I always want to end with all the chips.
Yeah. They're like, no, Bozo, you just need to win some hands.
Yeah, it's like the dynamic's so different. So tournaments, they were good to me, man. And you know, like the All Africa channel was out at the time.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and guys were getting a bit of exposure on TV. And I remember like going to some events. I started off with the small events that were like 2 or 3 grand buy-ins at I think they were at Gold Reef and all around. And I just started off. I realized that clearly it was natural to me, because I'd cashed up front. And then in 2009 was a big breakthrough year for me. So I'd come close to winning a few times in Bloemfontein and Gold Reef City, and I'd already developed that passion.
Mm-hmm.
And then at Monte Casino, we used to have a tournament called the South African Open, and it was the third one. It was a very expensive buy-in. It was a freeze out, and I sat down and I played and I won it. And that was like,
How much did you win?
That was 520,000.
And what year was this?
2009.
How old were you in 2009?
Shit, boy, why are you doing that to me? 24, 25? I don't know what time of the year it was.
So what's it like winning R500,000 when you're 25 and you love the game? Like, how did that feel? That first big victory?
That's what the feeling we chase. That's why we play poker, because that feeling is the feeling we're chasing. I can't put it into words. It was amazing. It set up the next few years of my life. It set the course of my life for the next few years. At the rush, the feeling of winning, it's just, there's nothing better. That's why we all play, right? No, I wish I could relive that every day of my life. It was great, you know. Got a bit of exposure, and then I started getting noticed as one of the tournament players in South Africa. And then actually here at Emperor's Palace, it was just not even 6 weeks later. They used to have a series called the Emperor's Poker Classics. I think they were called. You gave away the rings, and then I won again, and it was like 2 wins off the bat. And then guys really took notice of me in South African poker. The Swazis came in the next 3 to 4 years, where I had quite a bit of success in Swaziland. But I think that was all, you know, the 2 wins that I had experienced. My first 2 wins were a prelude to that, and they gave me the confidence to then go on. And you know, when other players fear you, or when you have a reputation, it can become easier to play. And confidence is key in this game.
Yeah.
You know, if you're feeling confident, you're very hard to beat. And I went through a period for a couple of years where I was really confident, and I was never second guessing myself in a hand, and I accepted my mistakes. And it's a good space to play, and it makes it much easier to succeed. You know.
Cool. So, like, what advice would you give to young, up-and-coming poker players out there? You know, like anyone that's like looking to like get into the high roller scene, the main events. You know, like what does it take to like win in the current environment?
So, look, I will say a few things on that. Is first, develop your own poker personality. I don't believe any 2 people are the same or should play exactly the same way. And poker's, although there's fundamentals you need to learn and understand when you play at this level, you've got to have your own identity. When you play, you're playing against, there's a human element to it, you know. So if I'm playing you in a hand, we'll have history over a few years. And so, you know, don't be textbook, don't go everything by the book. It's like a golf swing. There's certain rights and wrongs, but you've got to have your own flavor to everything, you know. Don't lose that, because if you lose that, then you just become one in the many that all play the same, and you're gonna have your 1 in 10 cashes because that's how the odds work. But develop, be yourself. Let your personality shine through when you bet and when you raise
Yeah.
and when you play a tournament and those sort of things.
But all based on fundamental understanding of poker,
So
like how the game is played.
So obviously, if you want to start playing high rollers and main events, you know, don't be silly now. You're playing against some of these guys are just incredible, and you've got to have applied your brain to the game. He is a student of the game. Ryan Dre is one of my best friends in the world, and he's one of the best students of poker. He can go into analyzing all sorts of things and exact percentages, and it's good. You have to have that basic knowledge, because when you play at this level, most of the players have that basic knowledge. Their little personality extra is
what gives you the edge.
That's
you think?
the edge, correct?
Okay, cool, amazing.
That's the edge. And the heroes is don't go beyond your means, because we've seen a lot of like youngsters or whatever they are, like over the years, overextend themselves and put themselves in difficult situations.
Or like bankroll wise.
Bankroll management, and just don't overexpose yourself. Don't always shoot for the all in. Put it all at risk for one big win, and it just never becomes that can become a vicious cycle.
And so what's your opinion on the current state of poker? Because, I mean, it's obviously evolved a lot from 2009 to now. Like,
Yes.
What changes have you seen? Do you think the environment's more difficult to win in? Like, what's your perception of the current poker environment?
So I'll say one thing, like the big ups to the guys that shuffle up poker and WPT Deep Stacks, because I was having a conversation with one of the ladies this morning. It's just we're very privileged to have these opportunities where we've got this brand that comes to South Africa and gives us these opportunities. It's a beautiful thing that we had it back in the day when there was the TV channel, and it went away. And a concern of mine is young blood in the game. It's hard to get young new guys, because when we were in varsity, Chris Moneymaker was on ESPN, so the whole world at our age wanted to play. We don't have that anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
That attraction doesn't exist now. It's like trading Bitcoin and those sort of things. And the world will always
Which could
evolve.
possibly be more lucrative, to be honest. Like, you can make a lot of money in Bitcoin.
I'm the only one who bought in December and lost half my money on Bitcoin. So, you know what?
Take poker advice from Bozo. Do not take advice on investing in crypto from Bozo.
Yeah. No, I'm not an investment banker, but I think the state of the game is healthy. And I was actually really surprised when I came back to play in October. In that main event, there was 460 entrants.
Yeah, amazing.
Okay. Apart from playing in other countries, I've never played in a tournament in South Africa where there's been so many entrants, and that was just I was blown away. So the guys at Shuffle Up know how to get the players in, and that's a great start. So I think it's a healthy. I mean, over 80 players in a high roll and a 40,000 rand event.
Yeah, an amazing event.
That's incredible. That's good pulling power. So big ups to them, and we need this to, these sort of companies and these that run these events to keep at it, and we should feel privileged as players to have these opportunities, because in other countries they don't have it. They have to go to Vegas every year if they want to play events like this and that sort of thing. So I think it's looking good, I think it's looking good, bro, and I'm hoping. Look, it also depends on the time of the year, so I don't think you get 460 entrants this time of the year.
But October for sure.
But October, I would expect, knowing what I've seen in the last few months and the love that some of these guys have for the game, and it's so passionate. There's more people that are there's a bigger circle of professionals in South Africa these days.
Yeah, very true.
There really is, and I will make a prediction that in October, when they run this event again, they will break that 460 entries.
Wow. Okay, so you just mentioned young professional poker players in South Africa. So would you recommend that anyone pick up poker as a career right now? Is that something that someone should be doing full time in your opinion? Or should they do what you're doing, like work on a career external to poker, maybe trading cryptocurrency and play poker as well? What's your opinion on that?
So look, anyone that's attracted to poker has a risk appetite.
Yeah.
And if you want to feed that appetite, you must do what your passion tells you to do. For us, we love poker, so we ended up, it was like a natural thing, we ended up playing poker. For some guys, it's like trading Bitcoin or trading the markets is also a big thing, that's like the cool now thing to do for
sure.
university students. So, I mean, we were drawn to it because we loved the game and the whole thing of it. And if someone has that passion and it draws them in such a way, then go for it. You know, just be wise about how you go about it. You know, don't be naive. This is a big boys' world, and you can get chewed up and swallowed. So do your homework. Like
Absolutely, yeah.
saying. But yeah, I mean, who am I to tell someone like go for it? You know.
Cool. That's okay. So, just to finish off, is there anything that you want to like get off your chest? Like anything you want to say about poker in general, even if it's not about poker, like anything you want to say to the poker community? Like, what is it like?
I'll say one thing to the poker community. You know, like there was a time, just now almost 8 and 7 years ago, where there was poker rankings, and I was number 1 in those days, and I won the Player of the Year. And I don't come back just to make up the numbers. I'm here to regain my crown, and I'm going to put in a lot of effort, and I'm going to put in the work to do it. I mean, Muaz is insanely good. I mean, he's one of the best I've seen in South Africa. Solly is just out of this world. Guys like Greg Tucker and like that, they are just so good. So it's not going to just happen. I will be applying myself, and I'm coming back for my title.
Okay, so poker community, poker community, South Africa. You've heard it from like Bozo's mouth. He's coming for the crown. He's coming to be number 1. That's what I love about poker. It's like so competitive. It's so adversarial, but at the same time, it's also like very communal. Yeah. Okay, cool, Boz. Thank you very much for coming on the show. This was amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, wish you the best of luck in the main event. Hopefully we go heads up. That would be amazing.
I wish so much. Man.
Okay, cool, guys. This does it for Poker Mind episode 3. Bozo, David Rosenthal. How do people like follow you on social media? How do we get in touch with you?
Facebook on my name. On Twitter it's Bozo09_.
Okay, cool. You heard it from Bozo. Thank you guys for watching. That's it for Poker Mind episode 3. We'll see you guys later.
She see money all around me. I look like I'm the man.